Elf Emmett uses pulsed electromagnetic technology to non-invasively synchronize your mind with the frequency of what you want to do. Learn and concentrate while feeling stressed. Improve the quality of your sleep. Stay awake when feeling tired. Relax after a hard day. We designed the technology around a beautiful, light headband that is powered by your smartphone or tablet and operated with a simple application.
So, first things first, what I need to say and repeat to the new viewers, the Illuminati do form about 1% of the total human population. There should be about 80 million people, okay, born in, and they are the people who are born into the reptilian system of families called, or aka satanic families, right, where they're performing rituals and mind control. So no wonder that the news reporter who's running that show, of course, is born in Illuminati, as I see the whole VICE crew is. So one short digression, when they're entering territories like ISIS-controlled Syria or Oman, they're always handling strictly with the Illuminati members, and I can clearly see by the vibe, and it's all like a reptile spin. See, it's only this kind of people can enter this kind of territories, and they always control. Sometimes they don't control groups, small groups, but they tend to control, and that's how story goes. So, where is the profound catch in questioning when a reporter is questioning that targeted individual who lives with his mother and a dog? He, first of all, TI doesn't know two things. First of all, TI doesn't sense that this is the Illuminati member. He cannot clearly sense him. And the second thing, so this guy is like playing a role of benevolent but naive guy who really would like to know more, but he is actually digging your grave. He is coming with the agenda, of course. And the second thing is, when he's asking him, why is it happening? And this one says this is like a gold cup or trophy winning answer question, because I don't know really. And my mother says maybe because he knows these things, and this one is spinning. Oh yeah, because he knows his things. That's why he's targeted. And this thing doesn't exist, right? So poor guy simply doesn't know that apart from those who are part of the political activities, he was clearly not. The system targets those who might simply wake up, those who have a potential. They simply do it. And he's mentioning a son of a Mason, Freemason, who was shitting in his bed in this older house he was living.
So this is all your evidence?
This is just my folder of colossal amounts of evidence.
What's this about?
The front tiles on the front of my house, all right? Someone had smashed, you can see where the stone or something had hit it and smashed all the tiles on the front of my house. Everybody gets a stroke of bad luck every now and then. But to have it continual, to have it continuous, I was just like, something's going on here.
Of course, there are some people who are just really, really, really unlucky.
Well, would you say things like this are unlucky? Would you say things like my dog's eye was unlucky? Would you say that somebody defecating in my bed unlucky?
Why would
I shit in my own bed?
But
seriously,
more bewildering is, why would the government shit your bed?
Or why would the Freemasons' son shit in my bed?
Why would anyone shit in your bed?
Exactly. Why?
When you think about why anyone would shit in your bed, what conclusions do you come to?
I'm just bemused by it. Absolutely bemused. It's unthinkable. Why would somebody want to do that?
Yeah.
It's a program. Getting back to the issue that you brought up earlier on, what if this was a mental health problem? Now, so we've got tens of thousands of people all experiencing the same things, so they've all got the same mental health problem. That is some specific mental health issue, isn't it?
Unless all of these symptoms, or a large number of these symptoms, are also mental health symptoms.
It's just impossible. That's impossible. It actually blows the mental health conundrum out the water.
Have you also noticed these home invasions?
I haven't, no. But when Shane tells me...
It's only because I'm like 007, you know what I mean? And I'm literally, I know how I leave things.
It would take so much effort to break into someone's house and dismantle their stuff and attack their dog. Why do you think someone would go through all that effort?
Because they're trying to scare you.
But why would they want to scare Shane so much?
Because he knows what's going on and they don't like it.
Right. Okay. So because he knows that he knows how targeting works.
Yeah.
He's now a problem for them, so they have to
That's
target
it, yeah.
him more to scare him. Yeah.
He's fighting them and they don't like it.
And why did they start targeting him in the first
I don't know.
That's the question we don't have an answer for.
I don't know.
That's the holy grail question.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'd love to know that.
Yeah.
The people doing it, I hope they get caught.
But for some TIs, it's too late. Like I mentioned, you know, it was only Richard Dowell. It was only last Wednesday. His girlfriend, Desiree, came on and said, "I need to let you all know that that he's killed himself." Death is freedom in this program. You know, for TIs.
Second thing, okay, now the benevolent reporter goes to the member of the Holy Trinity, the local psychiatrist, the person with the power to put anybody behind the bars, simply on her assumption that that person might be crazy or maybe dangerous. Wow, what a power. Plus, you know, little things middle-class people in Western Europe take for granted, like social security, regular paycheck, status and stuff like that. So, but you know, nice lady sitting in the armchair. Oh, well, society clearly messed up. We are way too late to help those people. But if we really incarcerate them, now I'm mimicking, like playing, if we really incarcerate them all, this might be the solution plus some weird chemistry, like back in the Soviet Union. And then she goes, what was the second line? Oh yeah, now. And okay, of course they all agree, you know, hearing voices, the schizophrenia. So now what's happening? Okay, you know, this is the schlagwort. Now, this is really beautiful construct. So you can only make this construct if you really control the higher ground. What they always say, reptiles control the higher ground. Therefore, whatever they say, in the eyes of the power, it's just. So then she says, all these schizophrenics pretty much are now uniting thanks to the internet, so each one is reinforcing each other's beliefs, and I already stumbled upon this theory, which is excellent. So TIs are basically a group of schizophrenics who are suffering from the same schizophrenia, and now thanks to the mass communication and total mass like YouTube, excuse me, now they are just automatically reinforcing, which is the, you know, simply the rule of big numbers. Right?
During the making of this film, we heard about 4 targeted individual deaths. At least some of these were confirmed as suicides. But for TIs, even a suicide was triggered by the program. It felt important to see if medical professionals were aware of the targeting phenomenon. So I arranged to speak to clinical psychologist Professor Philippa Garrity.
A targeted individual is someone who believes that they're being stalked by the government. They believe that they're being mind-controlled. If someone came to you with these beliefs, what would your professional opinion be about what was going on?
Well, I would have a conversation with them first, get as broad a picture as possible, understand when these ideas started and the context in which they started.
What are some of the common symptoms of someone who's experiencing psychosis and delusions?
So one set of experiences is hearing voices, or experience your thoughts as no longer private. And then there's a constellation of beliefs which may occur. And one set of beliefs may be beliefs that people are wanting to harm you.
A lot of the people we've met have actually found it a really reassuring, positive experience to see lists of the symptoms they've experienced online.
Human beings are social beings, and we seek, social support and a world in which we're understood. And one of the most difficult things for people is that they can feel very alone and very isolated and very frightened. So it's a good thing to find people who share those experiences and can provide understanding and support. The question is whether then that is a group who can help you, or whether it does something slightly different of reinforcing a very high level of preoccupation.
As society does become more of a surveillance state, is it more difficult to distinguish people who have delusions and people who are actually telling the truth?
The question of truth or falsity can be a bit misleading, because do I know whether I'm being subject to surveillance? You know, how would I know? And how would I judge that ultimately? So I don't think it is for mental health professionals or the world in general to force people to change their views of what's happening. But I do think it's for us to help people who are in distress.
That's the spin from the Vice. What else can I say? Yeah, it's brilliant, because I really have to add this, and this is gonna be sacrilegious. So you already know my theory that we live on a planet where reptiles rule the apes, quotations, thanks to the mind control, right? So in this planet, of course, you have the opposition and the controlled opposition. Then you have also the third way. So now, in my intuition, the Miles Jones is Illuminati member Bornean. First of all, I simply concluded just first intuitively, and I started to trust that intuitive impulse. What I know about his work, I really appreciate his work. For example, thanks to him, I listened to the interview from Sarah Stanga, and it was really inspirational on details how Illuminati are doing psychic attacks and so on. And she's also a born in Illuminati member, but she started to, also my age, started to crack up some time ago and open. Oh, I'm not born in for nothing, just saying. And so she but yeah, if you really look at it from the higher up control perspective, it makes sense, because all these bigger researchers, Miles Jones, David Icke, a god of conspiracy, then Project Camelot, then Stuart Swerdlow, which is totally, Illuminati player, known thing. Who else? Absolutely the god of United States, Mr. Alex Jones, the guy with the powerful voice. So all these guys, and coast to coast, and you get the idea. What is basically the official channel of conspiracy, like a truth movement, is all their work. It's all their construct. So it's guys, we are dealing with the empire, which been dealing with these things for millions and millions of years. Okay, definitely more than 400 million years. And if we are judging this according the archaeological excavations from South Africa, the semi-precious stones with the spheres and lines around the equator, 2.8 billion years. Okay. Okay, so this is how this machine as a matrix is being in the business of dealing with these things. So just now try, to bear my heretic words. So what would you do in this kind of case? You already, like in the Matrix comics, you see like auras of everybody, and you're just measuring their activity, like biofields, how they're taking consciousness, how it's rising, what are they thinking about. You have pretty much the equations and tests like visible for the whole humanity, so you know where they're going. Been in the business for a while, and now you have these kinds of people organized in different levels, and each one is informing and organizing. In the same time, they are automatically easier spotting who's going into that direction. You have also clear visible internet IP address connection and everything, so it's also very, very helpful. And you're just managing the whole movement. Whoever goes up, guys like me, totally little fishes, immediately smear campaign, immediately microwaves, immediately direct energy, immediately this and that. It's very difficult to live like that. Guys who are playing for you, they mysteriously have no problems, they're protected, they're financially doing somehow very nice, they can travel here and there, do presentations, do all this kind of stuff. Cool, works nice. You know, if some of the independent guys pop up, you can take him under his wing in your theory, right? If he's started to deviate and this is then you get him into prison like Mr. Fritz Springmeier and so on. Keep him also at bay. He's independent, but he has very little influence. From some reason, the big platforms are simply not giving him much credit. And David Icke came to Arizona Wilder thanks to him, because Arizona Wilder was a patient of Cisco Wheeler, and Cisco Wheeler, Fritz Springmeier wrote the first book, How Illuminati control indetectable mind control victims. And but you know, who gives a shit? So you have this kind of scene, and he was in prison over total false charges, big time target. I tried to contact the guy a couple of times, but I'm too small fish for him. You understand me? It's a big ocean, you have different fishes, and we're all floating there. So I'm just gonna wrap it up like this: very big fish Vice with this Vorspann. This is how they end up their story, which is beautiful smearing campaign, but very well effective. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like.
Targeted individuals' beliefs trap them in a terrifying reality and encourage them to reject professional help. But it's easy to see why the number of targeted individuals is growing. For people who hear voices or feel that they've lost control of their thoughts, it provides an explanation that affirms their sanity. When I first met the TI community, I wanted to understand how they could believe something so improbable. But I realized I had to forget about whether it was true or not, because challenging targets' beliefs drives them further into an isolated group where their ideas are reinforced. Whether or not the program is real, what's more important is that the anxiety, loneliness, and tragedy they feel definitely is. And where society has failed to offer them a solution, they've gone online and found each other.